こんにちは、カーオーディオネットのおまえです。今回はグラウンドゼロブランドのアジアセールスマネージャー兼 R&D チームのピーターさんへのインタビュー動画です。グラウンドゼロはアメリカ合衆国をルーツとし、世界82カ国以上に400を超えるカーオーディオ製品を供給しているドイツのハイファイブランドです。すべての製品において常に最高の安全性、信頼性、音質を追求し続けるその姿勢は世界中のオーディオファンから愛されています。それではピーターさんへのインタビュー動画をご覧ください。
Yes, absolutely. There are many different cone materials available for mid-range speakers, subwoofers, tweeters, and so on and so on. And all cones are different in terms of how they sound, what kind of tone they have. They are also different in if they are better for mid-range or if they are better for bass, basically. Choice of cone materials depends on what we want the speaker to do actually, and then it's also a price issue because different cone materials have a very different price structure as well. We use in GroundZero we use paper cones. That is the most famous cone material. It's been around for many years, and paper as a cone material is very good. It's very light, and if it's designed in a good way, it's also very stiff. And the distortion that can come from a paper cone is, how should I say, it's kind of a soft distortion. Yeah, so even if distortion come at a certain frequency, it's not so obvious, and it's a sound that most people like. So if you want to make a speaker that is not expensive and you want as many people as possible to like it, then paper is a good choice. Negative with paper is paper don't like humidity if it's wet season and raining and so on. Treat the paper, you can have different kinds of coating to protect it from water and so on, but the moment you apply coatings and so on, then you change the material. It's not paper anymore, it's coated paper and so on, so it sounds a bit different and so on. Other cone materials we use aluminum. Aluminum is an excellent cone material. It's maybe one of the best cone material for bass, because in the bass area there is no distortion whatsoever from the aluminum cone itself. It's completely distortion free if you use it for bass. The cone itself, of course you can have distortion from basket and motor design and so on, but the cone itself doesn't distort anything in the bass area. If we talk about mid-range with aluminum, it starts to become difficult, because then you reach the resonance frequency of the aluminum cone itself, and that frequency is normally around, can be from 3000 to 4000 to 5000 hertz. That is the resonance frequency of the cone itself. And if you try to use an aluminum cone all the way up to 4000, 5000, then you have a problem, because something occurs that is called breakup. And the aluminum, when it breaks up, when it starts to distort, it distorts a lot. So sound gets very aggressive, very hard, very cold, very aggressive.
Harsh.
Yeah, harsh. Then of course you can treat the aluminum, and now it's getting interesting. And there are many different treatments that can be done on a mid-range cone made from aluminum. You can apply certain damping under. I have seen brands that even have a paper cone under the aluminum cone. Works like a shock absorber on the car, basically, to dampen the cone. In the plutonium range, we choose another way. We put ceramic on the cone. So when you look on a plutonium cone, it's white. It's not gray from aluminum. And what the ceramic is doing is actually stiffening the cone even more. So by doing so, the resonance frequency of the cone itself is much higher, up at 6, 7, 8,000 hertz, and that means the breakup also move higher up in frequency. So as long as you stay under 5,000 hertz in crossover point, low pass, ceramic is a very good solution. There are other ways also, of course. Then you can use Kevlar. Kevlar, most people think that the Kevlar cone is yellow color, because that is the natural color of Kevlar cones. Kevlar is very, very strong. Kevlar is very, very light. And the breakup is coming very high up in frequency, and the breakup is not big, it's small. So it's a little bit like paper. If Kevlar it distorts quite soft.
I see.
Yeah. And Kevlar, the negative with Kevlar is the cost. It costs money. It costs much more than aluminum and paper, much more. But the good thing with Kevlar is you can choose different colors. So we have some mid-ranges with Kevlar, but it looked like carbon fiber, but it is Kevlar because we colored it to match other speakers, basically. And what more? We have PP. In the industry we call it PP, polypropylene cone.
Yeah.
That's a cone made from plastic. Very good cone. Not expensive. And it breaks up very soft. Even softer than paper when it breaks up. The negative with PP, I would say, is you lose some details with PP. You have a very soft sound, but you lose some details compared to some other materials. To Kevlar, comparing to Kevlar, you lose some details. It doesn't mean that PP is bad. There are some very, very exclusive brands using PP even on high-end speakers. If we talk about sound quality tweeters, it's been known very long that silk diagram tweeters have been what everybody talk about. Yeah. The silk diagram tweeters, they are excellent. They are very, very light cone diagrams, very detailed, and the same thing again, the breakup is very, very soft. It actually breaks up a lot, a silk dome tweeter, but it breaks up so soft so it sounds good anyway, even if it breaks up. Price is a factor on silk, and therefore fabric domes is very popular now. So woven fabric domes, different combination of cotton and other materials. It looks like silk, but it's not silk. It's actually fabric. And the most exclusive tweeter in the GroundZero range don't have a silk dome. It's a 30mm fabric actually, and that's the best tweeter we ever made. It plays all the way up above 30 kilohertz, that big 30mm tweeter. So excellent. Yeah, it's a real high res, really good. Silk is also good for high res. Then you have other brands that have different sound philosophy, because it's all about what philosophy of sound you have. What direction do you want to go? You have some brands that use very hard cones, very, very hard cones, like diamond and things like that. And then they can reach a frequency range up to 30, 40, 50,000 hertz. But they will have a breakup at that high point, and we can only hear to 20 kilohertz if we are young. Most people hear up to 18 kilohertz. So that is quite common. It can be aluminum tweeters, that's more for entry level. Soft dome fabric, silk, what have you? Did you see any other cone materials? Anodized aluminum, I think. Aluminum that have a black color, anodized. And then you have the compression drivers. I mean the ESQL tweeters and SPL tweeters. They very often have a aluminum diagram, you can say. The compression tweeters. Other cone materials, we have a uranium mid-range, the UM55, that is a speaker I love very much, the dome mid-range. That's a fabric dome actually, but that is coated. So it's It's like a fabric dome, but it's a bit stiffer and more heavy. We coated it because we needed more cone weight to it. And the reason why we needed that extra cone weight, we wanted it to be able to play lower in frequency. Normally a dome can only play to around a dome mid-range down to 500 Hz. But this one works all the way down to 330 Hz, something like that.
以上がグラウンドゼロのピーターさんへのインタビュー動画でした。もしこの内容が役立ったり気に入っていただけたら高評価やチャンネル登録をお願いします。それではまた。